Hello, everyone. This is the Batman statue collector, and I'm once again coming to you from my Bat Cave. And this particular review is going to be on a real stunning piece here. This is the 1/4 scale Batman Premium Format by Sideshow Collectibles. First impressions of this guy when I first saw him was wow, this is really, really cool. This is the Batman statue that I wanted. Um, DC Comics, DC Collectibles, excuse me, had put out a few Batman. I think they called them museum poses, and I did have one. And I remember the first time I got it, I thought, "Wow, this is the biggest statue I've ever seen." Like it was just massive. And then I got this guy in hand, and he just he blew the other one out of the water. This, especially at the time, was the ultimate Batman statue. There was very few, especially in a scale like this, that was made. Lots of smaller versions, smaller black and white statues, or other things that were really well done, but just nothing like this in scale and just overall presence. So I was really, really excited to get him. This particular one is the regular. When I first started collecting these, I didn't necessarily understand how the EXs worked. I didn't understand that the exclusives really weren't any more money, especially when you order directly from Sideshow. And so I didn't really understand it at the time. That's definitely an exclusive piece that I would have liked to have had. Sometimes the exclusives are hit and miss. Um, just like I mentioned with my Michael Keaton premium format, I feel like that was a wasted opportunity. But this one I do like, and it was the exclusive battering hand, and I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a bit. But let me just give you some of the fine details of this piece and give you my thoughts. So we'll start with the base. The base down here is pretty simple in paint application as far as I could tell. It is a tan color all around. There might be some shading on the wings, but not much. It's basically all one color as far as I can tell. The bats around the base, they continue all the way around the round base. And then it goes up into this great bat gargoyle here. Looks really, really good. Lots of detail was put into this. My favorite images of Batman are, of course, when Batman is standing on the edge of a building with the gargoyles facing out, rain dripping down, and Batman, just brooding out into the city. That is the look that I love, and so Sideshow really captured that with this piece. The base is extremely heavy, which is great because it holds the really heavy statue. Batman himself isn't too heavy, but it's this cape. This cape is massive, and it is just amazing in itself. I've seen a lot of people say that they really like the cape, but then there were a lot of people at the time that didn't like the cape at all, and they actually put a fabric cape on Batman. But I do like this look. I feel like Sideshow captured the wind kind of bellowing through his cape, blowing it to the side, and I just feel like they did a really nice job with it. If you look at the detailing, the cape itself is black, but they put a lot of the blue highlights. The camera, I feel like, really picks up the blue highlights even better than in person. I've seen some of these statues that looked really, really blue, and then some that just looked almost straight black. So I think that the blue highlights were kind of hit and miss um, as we look at this statue. But mine, it's subtle. I think the camera, like I said, the camera picks it up a little bit better than the naked eye does. But the cape does look really good, in my opinion. I really enjoy this version of it. There is, of course, another version out there. This is the original version. There is the lighter blue version, more of the '80s Batman, and it has the yellow emblem on his chest. A lot of people really like that, but this to me is Batman. I've always liked the dark, brooding Batman with this coloring. Um, no offense to the bright blue, but I just can't imagine Batman fighting during the day or at night with that bright blue costume. I've just never understood that. You know, you'd want to be in dark colors to fight crime. So this to me has always been the look, and I love the dark emblem on the chest. And this particular thing is a decal. I haven't had any trouble at all with mine coming up or anything like that. It stayed on the fabric. This is mixed media, and so the fabric itself goes all the way down to the boots. The boots are sculpted. It's kind of just a standard kind of black with a little bit of blue shading on them. Then as we go up, you see that this is a real tight fabric here. Some people really hated the fabric and they thought that the bicep looked bad, and so they did all these fixes on how to make the bicep look better. I've just never really thought it looked bad at all. I thought, could the bodysuit have hugged a little bit tighter? Sure, to show off the muscles, but I feel like, I mean, look at the abs right there. Everything shows through where it needs to. I just don't feel like, maybe I got lucky with mine, and maybe you're looking at this and thinking, man, his looks awful. I really don't know. But in my eyes, he looks very, very good. I love the way he turned out. This arm is attached to the rest of him, but this one is the regular hand, and it does come off. And it's just a balled up fist. The exclusive, of course, he's holding the batarang, the yellow batarang. And so from certain angles, especially, you could see, like if you were standing like this, you can really see the batarang coming down here. But I feel like even without the batarang, I still feel like that's a really good view for him. And this is how I display him with this particular angle, and also this particular head sculpt. One last thing I'll touch on is the utility belt. This is all fabric and plastic, like this is plastic here. But this is all fabric, these pouches. I thought that was a really, really nice touch. It could have easily been sculpted, but I feel like that just adds to the realism of the piece. When you do add mixed media, I feel like it just makes it that much cooler. I mean, there are times, of course, where you're going to want fully sculpted, but here I just think it just works, especially since they have the fabric bodysuit. I just think it looks really cool. So this is the head that I display him with. It's also a head that's very similar to my life-size bust head, which I really, really enjoy. But this is of course, the long-eared Batman. And so let me take this off here and I'll kind of show you some of the detailing. Some people haven't loved the paint, or they thought that the beard was too dark. On mine, I feel like it's just fine. I never really felt like it needed to be repainted. I just feel like it looked really, really well done. And so let me show you the other head here. This is not an exclusive head. This is just the second head that it did come with. This is a much more brooding Batman, in my opinion. I feel like he is pretty intense. And let me get the head sculpt on there. These are, of course, shorter ears in this look. So this was the look that I showed you before. So I don't feel like it looks all that great going from the front. So with him, you have to kind of pivot around and you get kind of that angle. So you definitely could display him from the side just like this, which I do think he looks really cool that way as well, with the leg up. So it kind of depends on maybe how much space you have. If you don't have a ton of space sideways, that you could move him to the side so he is looking at this way. Again, you could do, that angle as well. This was actually the first head sculpt that I really liked. I was like, oh, this is the one I'm definitely going to use, and I just really think he looks like he's intense and he's looking over his shoulder. But as soon as I got both head sculpts, I decided that, I think this one's great, but I do like the other one better. So I'll put that one back on. It just fits just right in there. There's a magnet that holds it in place. This whole cape lifts off, and I'm not going to do that today because I don't want it to break. But the whole cape does lift off in one giant solid piece. And then, of course, the head just fits down in that. So overall, I really enjoy this Batman. He's a great representation from the comics. Um, I'm sure that Sideshow will come out with some other versions of this comic version of him. I know that they've done a lot of other Arkham ones and different Red Suns and different things like that. And of course, I mentioned that they did the light blue version. But I really enjoy this one. I can't see me getting a different one because I really feel like this does capture the Batman of the comics that I enjoy. Um, I just really enjoy it. I think it's a great showpiece in your collection. And I just really think that Sideshow did a really great job on him. And they needed to. They have the Batman license. They needed to do a great job on Batman and kind of set the tone. Some of the other earlier ones were the Joker and Poison Ivy, and of course Harley Quinn, Catwoman. They all needed to look good. They all needed to look like they belonged together, and that's why I really enjoy the Batman comic collection. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what this statue looks like. My thoughts on it are, again, great statue. I would definitely recommend it to anybody that's a Batman fan. Great detail, great paint applications. Very, very heavy. But man, just look at that. So cool. Well, this has been the Batman Statue Collector. I hope you have enjoyed this quick review. Please comment below. Please subscribe. I'm really enjoying doing these videos, as I've mentioned before, and so please keep it up, and I'll keep doing reviews for you. So I appreciate it, and until next time, I'll see you soon.